Very good morning. Welcome back to Gordon Bennett TV. I'm Regan Tetlow. I've got the Germany threes with us. Sebastian and Willie are back. Hi, guys.
Hi, Regan. How are you?
Fantastic. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
What a night it has been. The competition is getting intense. You can see how many hours we've been flying now above us, above our head. We knew that one of the teams was going to be landing this morning on 57 hours and 48 minutes. USA 1 are down, and the top five as it stands right now in the lead on 900 kilometers. Swiss 2, second place Spain on 715. And now this is a great story with Swiss 1, France 3 and USA 2. There's less than 20 kilometres between them. Swiss 1 are coming up on 700 kilometres. France 3 are about 9 behind them. And USA 2 are about 9 behind them. We're halfway with 10 landed and 10 still flying. Guys, first of all, beautiful sunrise on the screen behind us. Gorgeous images, aren't they?
Yes, I think so. We just got it from my brother. I think so. Yeah, it's a picture of Germany too.
It's really nice. Let's have a look at where everybody is right now. Let's get the map on the screen. Talk us through a little bit, Sebastian.
Yeah, that's the outlook right now. I have to look. Let me see a little bit. Yeah, okay. So we see that Swiss 2 is in the very northeast, and I think they already leading the field, and also the other bunch of the other bunch of pilots are also flying direction east. And everybody is very close together.
Very close, aren't they?
Very close. After almost 3 days and 3 nights of flying. Yeah.
Are you quite rested after yesterday's adventure?
Oh, yes. When we arrived yesterday at lunchtime, we put our stuff together, put the car together, and then I went to Spa here in the hotel. Beautiful pool.
Oh, well, I've not seen it yet. Where is it?
So I think it's just
below here.
Yeah, it's below here. So and my dad, I think he had a short nap.
I see a lot of Gordon Bennett. This split is very interested. It's never every time. It's this mix different here. For south, for east, for west. It's a special today.
It's a special one, is it? It's different. 28 races for you now?
Yeah, 28 races. And I think this time I can make 0 kilometers for 40 hours. I'm sorry, I have a little bit missing the launch field.
What an adventure that was. It was one of the highlights for me of covering this sport. As we covered yesterday many times, but we got the call from here that, well, Sebastian actually messaged me on Facebook. He said, we're heading towards you right now. So we jumped in the car, we followed them. I'm sure you've seen the video. It was brilliant. And you were watching it as well, weren't you?
Yes. So I saw that you are live, and we were on low altitude, so it's good with the internet connection. And yeah, we're watching you, and you were watching us.
And hundreds of other people were as well. So USA 1 landed this morning after 57 hours and 48 minutes. And they sent us through a video. Let's hear what they said.
Hello from Germany. And we are in which city?
Near Landshut.
Yeah. These are our crew that have come to help us. And say your names.
Bastian.
And Judith. And Judith. And here we have Mark Sullivan. Mark, how was the flight today?
Just wonderful.
Wonderful?
Wonderful.
And we landed here because?
No batteries, no ballast. Let's see.
So,
Out of power.
And who was here when we landed?
Hans and Franz, go pump it up.
That's right. So anyway, we're down, we're safe, we're happy, we're packed up, and we're headed back. Bye.
So USA 1. What are you saying, Mark's one of the oldest competitors?
I think Marcus oldest is 70. It's for the long race, it's a hard work.
Yeah, it certainly is. We've got the update map now a bit closer in there, guys. You can see just how far ahead Swiss 2 are.
Oh yes, they are. They are in the lead, quite a few kilometers. I think around 200, something like that. Yeah. So, but as you say in Germany, am Ende werden die Toten gezählt. In English, it is at the end you count the dead people. So the race is the race has still some time to continue, and I think we can maybe see a fourth night.
I do like to collect a few little German phrases. We're going to learn that one later. I'm going to add that one to my list. This 2019 is the first time we've had 3 members of your family all flying together, isn't it?
Oh yes, that's very special, also for me. So I was maybe not competing, but I was part of the team since also 26 years. I missed the race 1985 in Geneva. But then we were chasing and making the headquarter meteor strategy and ground crew. And so this year, my first race, and especially with my brother competing and together with my dad, very special.
Well, talking about your brother, we got some footage in from Germany too this morning. Let's have a look.
Have a good result tomorrow evening. Hello everybody. Flying in 3,900 meter. We are in very good condition and keep going, keep fighting, under oxygen now. And we are heading for Vienna and then further to Romania. So that is our target for sure. I think everybody wants to go there as far as possible. So I think we will have a good result tomorrow evening, and then we will see how far it is. Wish you a good time today and keep watching.
So that alarm we hear there, is that the altitude alarm?
Well, I think so. I think it was. The beep was from the
from the air condition.
from the oxygen. That's a mountain high saving system, where they can use just a small bottle for a very long range of time, and it beeps.
We have an altitude alarm. It's very important. By night, one people sleep, the second pilot a little bit relaxed, and then you must not look every time in the altitude altimeter. You have altitude and maybe 500 feet lower or 500 meter lower, and then you automatically beep, 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 beep. And then you wake up, oh, where is it? That's very important.
Yeah, what would you set it to normally? Would you have a set height, or would it depend on the conditions where you would set that alarm?
By night you feel very stable, but not absolute stable. The balloon go a little bit 50, 100 feet, 200 feet higher in level, and that's okay, no problems.
It's really stable at the night time when you haven't got the heat of the sun lifting.
Yeah, it is. So in the night you try to find a level where the balloon is just laying down, and then you can a little bit relax and wait till the morning.
It's not every year. We have a very high pressure area, then it's very stable. When you have a low pressure area, then it's more difficult, more hard work. But today it's beautiful weather.
Yeah, it is beautiful weather. Let's have a look at the tracks and just think about the future now. What's going to be happening for the rest of the day? We can see the Black Sea down there on Romania. Talk us through what you think for the prediction for these guys.
So, well, I saw some very interesting trajectories of our team. Maybe I can't talk in detail about it.
No, keep that secret.
So there are a few possibilities. So you can reach the northeastern part of Romania next to the border of Moldavia. Moldavia is also open.
It could be a good day for Moldavia.
It could be a good day for Moldavia, but the northern part of Moldavia is a very, it's a little bit critical because it's under influence from some bad people.
Right.
So that's a part which you maybe try to avoid. And on the other hand, Bulgaria is more distance from here. So I think they're going to try reach Bulgaria. So there's the Goldstrand, the Golden Beach, Beach, a very popular tourist area. So, and that could be a good target for tomorrow.
Interesting stuff going into the fourth night. Willie, I want to touch a little bit on your history with Gordon Bennett. Can you tell me a little bit about your first competition? What was it? How was that all about?
My first competition by Gordon Bennett was 1985. I was a young man, and so I'm very interested for Gordon Bennett is a very popular in the balloon family, very popular, and it's a special story for me that I can fly the first time. Everything flew to the middle drain. And the winner was Schlagbaum, and we stay up in the Geneva Lake, and then the next day we go back to the launch field, and we was 44 hours in the air. That was for this time was a long time, and then we never come more. We landed 68 kilometers from the launch field. One day more, 10 hours more, and we win the race. About 1985, 44 hours. We have a special pokal for the longest flight in the Gordon Bennett to this time.
Well, incredible. And the technology that you had with you in the basket would be very different then than it is now.
Yeah, different lenders, and we have no toilet. We're outside of the basket. That's a special story. That's my first race. I have a lot of memories of this.
Wow, great times. Talking of first races, we spoke with Team Luxembourg a little bit earlier here in the studio with their impressions and their analysis of their first time with the Gordon Bennett. Very good morning. I'm here with Team Luxembourg. They're back with us. They landed yesterday, Carlo and Claude. Good morning, guys.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
So first of all, tell me about your landing. How was it?
fast and safe. We started at 15,000 feet when we decided to go down, and the direction we had in mind was Montbéliard, to do a nice little fly-in after 43 hours. And so we started going down at 15,000 feet. We had 10 bags plus the water. And so we didn't manage to go straight to Montbéliard because we had some west wind, and to not disturb the meeting because there was no time on it, we decided to land before, and I think we did about 28 kilometers just before the center, and we had quite a nice experience at the landing. But Claude will you to tell what happens when we landed.
Okay, Claude, over to you then for the landing.
Well, it's the usual landing in very bumpy conditions, because it was, I think, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Very hot, 35 degrees, so very thermical conditions. So a bit bumpy, but safe. So we managed to land safely, and some cows very astonished that we just dropped down in their field, and but no problem at all.
So your first Gordon Bennett, it's in the books. When did this begin, this whole process? When did you decide you were going to fly together in a Gordon Bennett?
I think I was participating the first time in my life at the Gordon Bennett in Freiburg in Switzerland, and I had the chance because I wanted to do it once in my lifetime. So I asked if I can participate, and he said yes, but only as a Fiesta balloon. So we started with a gas balloon with another German pilot, because I didn't have my qualification at that time. So we flew about 15 hours. So last year I couldn't start in Bern because I didn't have enough hours as pilot one. So we trained a lot, we did a lot of flights, and so it took about 2 years to prepare and plan everything, and the last 6 months or the last 3 months had been very intensive.
What would be your memory now when it all calms down a few weeks or months down the line? What would be your outstanding memory of this event?
Well, I think most of the pilots, when you follow them on social media, they post pictures from the sunrise in the morning. I think the night flying is very intense, because especially now the nights become very long. It was beautiful as we had full moon conditions, so you appreciate this scenery during night, and then suddenly you have this small line coming up, the sun starting to rise. This is really the absolutely climax of the flight, and I think every balloon pilot will tell you this.
Yeah, that's what we've been hearing from everybody. That is the number one outstanding moment of the flight, of the night. The last 6 months have been very intense for you. There must have been a lot of people involved.
Yes, of course. We had well, first you have to set up the team on the ground for the meteo, for the airspaces, etc. Then preparing the material, and don't forget to fly, because we rented the balloon from Cameroon, so it was different than the German kind balloons, and so we had to train a lot on that balloon. So and we tried as much as possible to go to Germany, to Gladbeck, for training, and it's about 4 hours driving from Luxembourg. So you work the whole week. When you arrive there, you are tired, and then you go for a night flight or a 2-day flight. So it's exhausting. It was exhausting, the training weeks before, or months. But we are happy we did it. We are glad that we had been part as the first Luxembourg team to participate in 63 events at the Gordon Bennett. And well, we had at least one podium at the start. We had been drawn as the first team to take off, and that was very, very emotional. And so it was quite amazing. It was a big adventure, and we didn't regret that we had been part of it. And when you see how fly the others, a big respect to see what they do, because they have a lot of experience behind, like Willy, nearly 2,000 hours, I think. I have now 140, and so all respect. And again, thank you to our teachers, to Bertrand Pellard, who gave us the virus. And then Willy, my teacher, of course, my instructor. And then Vincent Lice, who is a big emblem, a big symbol for us for this kind of adventures.
You said there's the difference between the German-style balloons and the one you used. Can you tell me a little bit what the differences are?
Well, I think there are three different types of. Well, I'm not a gas balloon expert. I'm more the hot air balloon guy. But from what I see, there are three different techniques, especially on the venting systems. You have the very old, the net balloons that have a net, and then the envelope inside the net, and mostly a wooden manufactured, very nice valve that opens when you pull, that opens on two sides and closes again. Very old system, very nicely manufactured. Then you have a more advanced system, sort of Werner, it's called Werner system, Werner balloons. They have sort of a parachute inside the envelope like the hot air balloons. So the parachute opens and closes. And then the Don Cameron developed a new system which is sort of a pipe chimney system, because he wanted to avoid that air gets into the envelope when you let hydrogen out, so that you never get a mixture of hydrogen and air in your envelope, because hydrogen is inflammable, and only if you have oxygen mixed with it. So he wanted to avoid this mixture, so built a chimney above. When you open, you never have air going into the envelope. So this is a system that seems to be okay, seems to be safer, and we flew that balloon. We had the chance to rent it for a year, and it worked perfectly.
Would you be competing again in the Gordon Bennett? Is this something you want to continue?
Yesterday at the landing, when we called the PC course to tell them that we landed, the guy sent me a message that he closed the flight plan, and the second question was, Carlo, are you going to do the next? And I answered, I don't know yet. Maybe, because you have in such adrenaline, you are full of it goes pumples still when I tell it, speaking about, and I said I don't know yet. But after first night sleeping well in the bed again after a shower and a good lunch and some couple of beers, you say why not to be part of Poland next year? So I don't promise it, but I'm quite sure that we're going to do the next one.
I mean, not many people in society are involved in aviation. Not many people compete in aviation. They're getting smaller and smaller. People in ballooning, smaller people in gas ballooning. It's a very limited number of people in the world. It's something to be proud to be part of, isn't it?
Yes, I'm absolutely. I'm very proud, especially because we were the first Luxembourg team taking this challenge. And I must add one point, and that's the people's point. We spend now more than 40 hours in more or less 1 square meter. This is really a very exciting experience. You have to know each other very nicely, because you have to take very important decisions. Be it on the strategy, you have to be supported by your team. The team gives you advice, but you're in this bloody basket on this 1 square meter, maybe at 4,000 or 5,000 meters, and you have to take one decision that makes the next hours and the direction, and that makes maybe the win or the loss of kilometers. This is something that really struck me. I'm really happy that I was able to do this with Carlo, and it's really a people's business, and if you have a good team, you will make a good result. And I'm persuaded that we did a good team, a good job also. We had a plan, we flew the plan, we changed the plan at the very end to come back to the launch field because of safety reasons, because we had only 9 bags left, and we didn't want to make it up to maybe the Alps or Germany, very dense traffic, air traffic countries. So we decided to land, but we at all moments were ready to do or to take the decisions, both of us. And this is really something that struck me. It's really intense also from the relationship from these two guys in the basket. And that makes also the difference. And all the guys who are still in the air, I think that's the point that will make the final winner.
Yeah, teamwork to the extreme, isn't it? And we talk a lot about the elation and the high points of these events. I'd like to touch a little bit on the low point. What to you was a low point of your whole journey? What was the worst moment?
The worst moment for me was just before the takeoff. We noticed that we had trouble with the transponder cord, and then they pushed us one by one to the podium, and that was it was a little bit too fast for me. I couldn't really say bye-bye to my wife. And then when you drove off and you disappeared, that was really fast. And when we noticed, normally we used to fly with about 58 sandbags, because I'm quite tall and heavy, even if I lost 10 kilos, especially for the race, so I'm losing my pants now. So we noticed that we found out that we had only 46 sandbags to start on a world championship, to start the Gordon Bennett. So I was disappointed. I tried to find out what is the problem, why we don't have more sand. And my plan, or our plan, was to do at least 3 nights. I don't know. I know that we are not able to do 4. We are too heavy. And our material basket envelope is too heavy when you see what Swiss or France teams are doing. So we had been prepared to do 3 nights. We had food for 4 or 5 days, I guess, and water as well. And that was for me a low point, a low moment to have so much worked on it, and then to start already with minus sand bags, because sand is for us our petrol. That's how we stay up in the air, and as more we have sand left, as longer we can stay. And then the first night was quite good, not too cold, and then in the first day on. It was a disaster to find winds to go somewhere. But we turned all around. I think when you see the map today, 3 times we did an 8, whatever. And we saw Chalon-sur-Saône 6 times from all different sides. We stayed nearly the whole day. And when you stay on the same place, you lose sand. And then we got trajectoires from our PC race, from the ground equipe, from the ground team. Then they told us, yeah, try this. There is some wind going to the north. We tried. And as long as you try, you lose always sand or hydrogen. Well, I think that was for all of us. Some got a little tiny winds to go a little bit more north or faster or earlier than we did. So we lost a lot of time. And as I told you before, we came back close to Montbéliard with about 10 bags before we decide to land. But I think we have at least 1 record or 2, at least Luxembourgish team number 1. And then the second one, we did the shortest distance outside of the NOTAM in 43 hours. So in 43 hours, we managed to do 28 kilometers.
It's amazing.
Well, I think the most difficult moments, and again, I think many pilots will agree, is the moment, the end of the night, in fact, before this sunrise comes. Because the conditions weren't so bad, it wasn't so cold, but it was very humid. So if you have low temperatures with high humidity, at a certain moment you just ask your question, what the hell am I doing here? And so we had 2 hours shifts. So Carlo flew 2 hours, I flew 2 hours. But the last shifts at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, when it's still dark and it's very humid and you're a bit cold, it's a difficult moment. And then it changes immediately. As soon as the sun comes up, you get full motivation again, and it's really very exciting. It's very, very, very special moment.
Absolutely incredible. What a brilliant insight. And for the rest of the race, you're keeping your eye on it. What do you think? How do you think today is going to pan out and overnight?
Yeah, now we go back to the rooms, we back to luggage, and we drive back to Luxembourg to the daily program again, and then we come back on Friday for having a nice drink with all the other pilots, and then Saturday is the prize giving. So we write down a lot of points to have debriefing, what we could do different or better, or to save some weight. We cut some legs maybe to get smaller, and so. Voila, I would like to thank you to the whole organization, to you with your team, for the nice interviews, the nice program, and we are glad and happy to be part of it.
Well, we keep an eye on the strategies of the other pilots, because I think there's an Austrian pilot who took more or less, well, all pilots took more or less the same strategy than we. Was only a thing to be able to go as high north as possible, which what we couldn't do. And the Austrian guy, I think, or it's a Swiss guy. He went up Swiss team too. Swiss team, yeah, we're right. They went up very high north, and I think now it's a challenge to try to go again very far south to get the biggest distance. So I'm very keen to see how they manage to do this.
Great insight into what's going to come, and a fascinating insight into your journey, your Gordon Bennett journey. Guys, thank you very much for joining us.
Welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao.
What a really special interview there with Team Luxembourg. Good insight into the sport. And we're just coming up now to 62 hours since launch. 62 hours, that's so long.
Oh, that's so long. I wish I would be still in the air.
Your first time, you've got to take it easy. The longest, 92 hours for you.
Yeah, 92 hours and 11 minutes. Yeah.
92 hours and 11 minutes. Wow. What year was that?
This was 1996 from Riel in Switzerland to Lucia in Lithuania. We can fly more. We have a ballast. We can fly more. The Russian border was the problem, and then we go back and we landed before the sun is empty.
Yeah, we're just talking a few moments ago off camera about the history and Willie's a long career in the sport, and it's not all been fun and games. There's been some bad times as well. Tell me about some of those instances.
I have two informations. The first is for my first win, the shooting of the Belarus military for Alan Frankel and Stuart. It was the first people in my government careers was died, and for 5 years the crash from the flashlight and Abruzzo and yeah, that was. I talk everything. Please save the race. Not too much danger. That's my angles is finished. I landed yesterday very slow. I think it's the feeling that the race is safe is for me very important.
Yeah, especially after so many years, and in all air sports, well, in all competition, people push themselves sometimes beyond. And as a professional skydiver, and all air sports will tell you, you've got to keep your limits. It's knowing your limits, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. You have to always be on the safe side, yeah. So
Willie, 27 races, 28 races now. Is it going to be a 29?
2 years before I finished for Gordon Bennett, and then I think the Polish two options. This year the first time was 2 German teams, and I think 2 German teams, never in the Gordon Bennett 2 German teams, 3 German. We have a time we can have a field of 5 or 6 teams. But I think, okay, Willie, you must the third team. And next year, Poland is a new country for my life. Maybe. I will see it. Maybe.
Really interesting as well. Really interesting. So we could be back for next year. Sylvia Wagner's just messaged saying that she's in Vienna, of course, and she's waiting for the balloons to pass overhead. You've just got a message from your brother.
Yeah, I just heard that the airport in Vienna, also a very busy airport. I think they are running nearly all the airplanes in Austria. They don't make big problems. So as you remember the map, the balloons are approaching Vienna, north, middle, south, everywhere balloons. And the airport is quite easy. So thanks to the ATC coordination here at the race, they are well known that the balloons are on the way.
And for you, your first competition in the basket must feel good.
Yeah, it was feeling good. Yeah, that was not my longest flight, but well, we had a lot of fun. Maybe beside this small wind directions with 1 and 2 knots in each direction, but temperature were good. We had a good movie in the second night, and yeah.
A last word of me. I think this race is more interesting with Formula One. We must have a good radio station, TV station. This is a very interesting race for a long time. I think it's much more than Formula One.
Absolutely. I think, to be honest, I'll be honest with you, I think Formula One is absolutely boring. I went into Barcelona and we spent the whole day there, and it's just minutes of nothing and then... You pay a lot of money for this.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is about 1,000 euro, I heard. So yeah.
Yeah, well, it's ongoing day after day, bringing you fantastic stories like this. Great insights with the interviews and with the pictures and with the videos as well. And we're going to leave you from the morning show with some great images from your brother flying over which airport?
I think Stuttgart.
Stuttgart.
Last night, yeah.
We'll be back this afternoon, I think at 2:30, with more from Gordon Bennett TV. See you then.